Hello and welcome to the OceanState Cuisine. In today's video, we're going to be showing you how to pan fry corned beef hash to perfection. It's going to be nice and crisp and golden brown. And then we're also going to be showing you how to poach the perfect poached egg, which we're going to serve on top of our corned beef hash. Now, corned beef hash can be a little tricky to pan fry. A lot of times they'll stick, it doesn't come out right, it doesn't get brown enough, it doesn't get crisp enough. Unless you have one of those big, wide, flat top grills where you got plenty of space and you can just get the spatula, slide it underneath it, give it a flip, and good to go. But at home, most of us don't have that. We just have saute pans. Now, the pan I'm going to be using today, I use this pan almost every morning, and it's a stoneware pan. And these are excellent pans. Nothing really sticks to them, and you can use all kinds of utensils. After a lot of use, they can get a little scuffy looking, but it's not like that they flake like Teflon does. So in today's video, I'm not even going to use any cooking spray in this pan. I'm not going to use butter, shortening, oils, nothing. Just a pan and corned beef hash. Now, if you don't have a stoneware pan and you have just a regular frying pan, or if you have a Teflon pan, I still recommend using some cooking spray or a little bit of oil, because corned beef hash is notorious for sticking. Now, what's really ironic is out of all the cans of corned beef hash I have eaten in my lifetime, I've never seen this happen. But it's ironic that it did happen the one time why I am making a video for YouTube. So it's probably a godsend that it did happen, because this here way, if somebody wants to try canned corned beef hash and they never had it before, they know what to avoid now. Now, what I'm talking about is the can on the left is the one that I opened up. See on how it's watery looking and it's very pale and white looking? That's no good. So that we could see this better, I put it in small bowls, so we could see that the one to the right that I'm touching with the spoon, that's the bad corned beef. See on how it's all watery and stuff? And the corned beef on the left is the healthy corned beef. Now let's get on with the cooking. So simply all I do is that I take the corned beef out of the can, however much that I want to cook, and I just kind of flatten it out where it looks like a patty like this. And again, because of this pan, I'm not using any shortening in the pan or cooking spray. Now, the biggest piece of advice I could give when it comes to cooking corned beef hash like this is once you flatten it out a bit, you don't want to touch it. Just let the pan and the corned beef do its thing. All the best restaurants, this is pretty much the way that they make it. And again, don't stir it, just leave it alone like this. I cook mine on my range at about number 4, which is like a low medium. And I cook it for maybe about 5 minutes. And if I'm having some meat with it, like bacon or sausage, I cook that around the same time. So right here, I do add a little bit of butter to my sausage. It just adds nice flavor to it. But you do want to keep an eye on your corned beef hash every now and then, maybe every minute or 2 minutes or so, just to make sure that it's not burning. And a good way to be able to tell is that you're going to see the edges start to really crisp up and turn brown. Because we don't want to keep flipping it. We don't really want to touch it at all. Just like any food, it comes with feel. Once you do it 1 or 2 times, you're going to get the hang of it. Next, we want to start getting ready to cook our poached egg. So I'm using a small saucepan here with some water in it. And I'm going to put it on the same temperature as my meat pan. And I always add salt and pepper to my water. So now if we look, we can see that there's color now added to the sausage and the edge of the corned beef hash. I know you can't see it on my camera like you could at home, but if you look at the edge, it is definitely starting to turn brown now. And then for our poached egg pan, we could see that the water is almost ready to drop in our egg. You don't want the water to be boiling or even on a hard simmer. Poached eggs are very delicate and they'll just break apart. Now let's tend to our corned beef. It looks like it's pretty much done now. Now what I'm doing is that I'm sliding underneath the edge the spatula, and we can see that it's all clinging together now. That's a good indication that it is done. And coming in behind the corned beef, we could see that it's lifting up together again, and we could definitely see the brown along the edge. Now let's give it a flip and let's take a look at it. So we could see that it's definitely evenly brown. I actually cooked this well. You could cook yours a minute or two less, and we could see as I tap on the top that it's very solid and it's evenly browned. But once you plate it up and it sits in your plate for a minute or two, it's going to soften back up a bit. Plus we're going to be putting an egg on top of it. Now once I flip it, I pretty much turn it over and just let the heat of the pan now finish the other side, because the corned beef is pretty much cooked all the way through now. And again, if you like yours a little less cooked, just cook it a minute or two less. And that's what the other side looks like. Now let's get ready to cook our perfect poached egg. Now what I do is I always add a couple of drops of white vinegar to the water. That helps your egg kind of stay together and stay formed. It's still going to spread out a little bit, but not quite as bad when you use the white vinegar. Now you can put your egg in a cup like this, and I'll help it slide in a little easier. I'm doing it because I'm holding on to the camera with the other hand. So my egg actually dropped in a little bit harder than I wanted it to. Now we can see here that my water is barely cooking. It does not take much heat at all to cook an egg. And for the way that I like it, total cook time's about 4 minutes. Now what I'm going to start doing next is I'm going to start skimming off this excess loose whites and discard them. It's going to give the final egg a real nice appearance. And now we are left with mainly just the egg now. Now after about a minute after dropping in the egg and cleaning up the water a bit, the egg tends to stick sometimes to the bottom of the pot. But we like to have it float freely in the water, so I just get a spatula and I carefully scrape between the egg and the bottom of the pot, and I loosen up the egg. And now I let it cook for about another additional 3 minutes, remove it from the heat, and now I have it on my counter next to my plate to serve it. Now with a slotted spoon, I'm going to transfer it over on a piece of paper towel, and we're going to blot out that excess moisture so it's not all over the corned beef hash. Now we're simply going to just lay it on top of the hash. And there we go. It's a perfect shaped egg. And there we are. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now let's finally see what the yolk's like. Ha ha ha! We don't have any runny whites going on, just a perfect cooked poached egg. And there it is, cleaned up a bit, and yeah, so that's a good looking breakfast right there, folks. Now, my favorite is actually putting poached eggs on a slice of toast or a toasted English muffin with some butter added to the bread, and even sometimes a slice of cheese. And that about wraps up today's video, guys. Again, we went over pan frying your corned beef hash to perfection and making yourself a perfect poached egg. Make it also for your kids. They're going to love you for it. So again, thanks for watching the Oceanstate Cuisine. Sub up for more excellent recipes coming your way, and comment down below because we love to hear from you. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.